Alright everybody, welcome back to my Let's Play of Dragon Quest VIII, Yearn of the Curious King, and we are on part 13, and in today's episode we're gonna head on into the Swordsman labyrinth, but before we do, in before episodes, as I said I would, I grinded up some casino tokens, so we're gonna go ahead and spend those here now, and we're gonna buy 2 silver platters, because remember we're gonna mix them with iron shields and make 2 white shields for Jessica and Angelo. Some very nice shields for them. So yeah, we'll just put them in the bag. And next up, we're gonna purchase 5 agility rings. In the last episode I said I would only get 4 of these, but yeah, since I got lucky and won more tokens than I wanted to have, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy a 5th one because, yeah, we're gonna make a lot of nice items with these rings, and to be frank, it's nice to have 1 extra just to equip for the bonus agility. And yeah, you'll see in a moment whom I will give it to, the extra agility ring. And then I said we would only buy 2 titan belts, but once again I want some extra tokens, so we're gonna buy a 3rd titan belt. And there you go. Titan belts are really nice to equip too. As you can see, they will boost attack by 10. And yeah, you could also buy a rune staff or platinum headgear, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna let them be, because to be quite frank, they are a little bit too overpowered for my taste almost. So yeah, titan belts. As you can imagine, on Tur, since he's using boomerang and he is striking every damn single enemy on the field with physical damage, a titan belt is gonna be really, really nice to have on him. So there you go. And then we're gonna give the 2nd titan belt to Jessica, just as such, because yeah, she's using the whip and she's also hitting multiple targets, and the Twin Dragon Lash, since she's striking twice with that, really benefits from a titan belt too. So yeah, really nice accessory for both her and Tur there. Then you might say, well, surely your 3rd titan belt is going to Yangus, but no. We're actually gonna give him an agility ring, because remember, whenever we're out fighting enemies in the open, if Yangus can go early and just nuke the screen with the thin air, well, then they will all be weakened really, really quickly, and then Tur or somebody else can easily finish them off. So that's my line of thinking there. I don't think that the thin air attack is affected by the titan belt anyways. I think that's how it works, but I'm not 100% sure though. It's kind of hard to know since it's a wind type attack, but it's not really a spell either, since it's an ability, you know, and not inside of the spell category. But yeah, either way, I'm just gonna roll with agility there on him. And so, yeah, the remaining agility rings we're gonna mix with the bandanas I bought earlier in Peregrine K, and we're gonna make some Mercury bandanas out of these once we have the alchemy pot back, basically. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put these items, or organize them as such. Yeah, as I said before, I like to have my items besides each other so that it's easy to spot them later when it's time to craft. So, you know, there's no point in putting the silver players out in front yet, because we don't have any iron shields. Okay, so. Now, it is time to head on to the Swordsman's labyrinth. And let's see here. Use the zoom spell and get on over there. And I think this, well, this goes without saying, but had I gone to the casino earlier, you know, before progressing the plot when we first got to pick him, I think I would have been able to bring all these Mercury bandanas and the white shields and, yeah, the upgraded hats for Jessica and Angelo down with us here inside of the Swordsman labyrinth. But yeah, I wasn't thinking ahead, so I just, you know, went ahead and progressed with the plot, and now I can't bring upgraded gear inside of here, so that's a little bit lame, but here now we have some plot.
There's the chest. The Venus tier's supposed to be locked away in that. Must be a real gem. This ain't the first time I've had a bash at this place. I ain't never managed to get as far as the chest, mind. But I ain't doing the off without it this time. We're gonna get that Venus tier.
We sure are. So, if you want to progress with the dungeon, you head down the left path there, but we have some flavor text on the right side, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the little tablet that's inside of this room. And here we have the first battle of the dungeon, and we're facing off against the purple mummies. These guys can actually drop scholar specs. It's a 0.39% chance of happening, but if you can get one, they will boost a character's wisdom by 15. So, like, if you're planning on leveling up Jessica with Stace, or Angelo for that matter, like, those scholar specs are invaluable to you. They will boost your damage by quite a bit. Now, you will be able to buy scholar specs later on in the game anyway, so if you don't get any, well, don't sweat it too much. Now, the Mighty Armlet, though, as we discussed over in the casino, or did I? I might not have. No, actually, never mind, I didn't. Yeah, I forgot to mention this, but the reason we're buying the Titan Belts is not just to equip them right now, but later on you can mix them with regular strength rings in the alchemy pot and they will become Mighty Armlets, which will give 15 attack instead of just 10. So yeah, the Mighty Armlets and the Scholar Specs are kind of like the two best offensive accessories in the game, you know, as far as boosting magic or strength. So yeah, you will never sadly be able to buy Mighty Armlets from a regular shop, but Scholar Specs, on the other hand, you can, so they're not as rare as the Mighty Armlets. But yeah, I will show you how to get plenty of Mighty Armlets down the game, or down the road. So, this labyrinth was created for the purpose of protecting the Venus tier. Only those with wisdom and strength shall attain true glory. Sounds really dangerous what we're about to venture forth into here. And yeah, here we have a Restless Armor and a Lost Soul. I believe the Lost Soul enemy is quite docile. Yeah, we have seen the Wandering Spirit back in the Dungeon 1 there back in Dungeon 1 in Fairbury. Yeah, back then they could shoot a single freeze spell and that's about it. But here in this dungeon, when they are low on health, I believe, they will use a self-exploding attack. So they will basically just implode and damage the entire enemy team for like 10 damage or so. They are really weak, actually. Like the self-explosion attack there should be dealing much more than it does. It's way too weak to be dangerous. Either way, now we're gonna head on down here, and well, okay. Ooh, a Phantom Fencer. These guys, yeah, these guys are pretty dangerous. They can call forth lightning, I believe the attack is called, and it will deal around 20 damage, I want to say, to each and every party member. So, pretty damaging spell there. Pretty dangerous, I should say. And yeah, I love their death animation, how the sword just flips away. They really did a nice job animation-wise there. Anyways, now to this level 18, 11 HP, 4 MP, nice amounts of stats, and he finally got the mid-heal spell. And here's the unfortunate thing, since I'm so low on money right now, I don't have a sword with me down here. Yeah, normally I would have the steel broadsword here, or at least a lower tiered sword. Well, actually, yeah, the steel broadsword. Yeah, you would need the steel broadsword to be more powerful than with boomerangs at this point. But yeah, either way, my point is just I won't have a decent sword for the boss here. But I'm still gonna put all my points into this skill tree because, yeah, there you go. Plus 10. If we had a steel broadsword now, that coupled with the flame slash would have been dealing more damage than the boomerangs at this point. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But hey, I'll survive. And yeah, if you go there, you will progress with the plot, or with the dungeon, I should say, and in this room, we will find a long corridor and a flight of stairs, and at the end of it all, we'll find the dungeon map. So I really don't need that, but still, I just want to be thorough here and show where everything is inside of the dungeon. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and it might actually be nice to have up ahead when we have more different sections and yeah, a lot of different rooms to go into. Yeah, so it's probably a good idea to come and get it so I can point you guys where we're heading and things like that. And yeah, it's really early morning and I'm a little bit morning tired, but I'm still doing my best here commentary wise. A little bit hard to focus, but yeah, I really wanted to record. I'm just feeling like it. Just in a good mood. And yeah, let's see here. As you saw, Angelo just now learned the VIII spell. The VIII spell is actually quite nice, and some really dangerous monsters up ahead in the game are really susceptible to it. Like, the VIII spell is an instant kill spell, but it seldom works on most enemies. So there are certain enemies out in the game which you will really benefit to pulling it out against. So yeah, I have a few enemies in mind where I will show it off. And yeah, I believe we're coming up. Oh my goodness. I believe we're coming up on the map here. Do I want to take control of this, or should we just let the computer handle this? I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and mid-heal the hero here, because remember, both the hero and Yangs are in the first spots, or in the first position. So yeah, they both have a 35% chance of getting hit by regular attacks, and if the hero had gotten hit like 2 or 3 times there, and the Phantom Dancer calls down lightning, well, then he might just die. So yeah, I went with the safe option here, but clearly I didn't have to, but still, I just want to be safe, because we can't resurrect team members in this game. Not yet, anyway. And as you might have seen there too, when Yangus used the Thin Air ability, the Phantom Caper didn't take damage at all. Yeah, he's actually immune to wind-type spells, so you gotta keep that in mind too. I think that most enemies in the game, or like, how should I put this, like, the wind-type category of spells have the most immune-type monsters, you know, in the game. Does that make sense? Like, there are many monsters out in the game who are actually just straight up immune to wind spells, or many, but there are more so enemies that are immune to wind than to, let's say, fire and ice, or lightning, for that matter. But even so, the Thin Air is really nice to have, and yeah, that is where the map is, and we're gonna take some damage here. And let's see here. Yeah, for this dungeon, it is a pretty long dungeon, so I would strongly recommend that you bring a lot of medicinal herbs, and yeah, I should probably have mentioned that before coming here, right? That was a bit foolish of me. But yeah, you're gonna burn a lot of mana if you, well, come down here without herbs, and yeah, your mana is just gonna be consumed by healing your teammates. Now, here's the thing though, before the boss, yeah, there is a boss down here, I believe I've said so. Before the boss, oh wow, before the boss of the dungeon, you will actually get a chance to heal up your whole party to full HP and mana, so there is that. And these guys, they have a very high chance of dropping iron nails, so if I can get some, that would be hella nice actually. But yeah, I'm gonna take control here, because we're gonna need Jessica to use the Twin Dragon Lash. You could also try a Whiplash here and paralyze them. However, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if the Dazzle spell won't work on them. And I gotta say, it's nice to have all of this agility on. Oh, nice! They all were affected. So yeah, it's really nice to have the agility ring on Yangus. I can really feel the difference there. And they were a lot squishier than I thought they were. The main reason I use Dazzle on them is because they can use the Desperate Attack ability. Oi, nice, dude. Now we can make another Reinforced Boomerang and trade it in at Dodgy Day, dude. I'm so happy. Everything is just going swimmingly right now. What was I saying just now? Oh yeah, I was using the Dazzle ability with Angelo on them, because the chests like to use a Desperate Attack, which can crit you for up towards 50 damage, I wanna say, so yeah. But they were so squishy that really it was unnecessary, or unwarranted maybe even. And you know what, here? What the heck, my man? This shit ain't fixed. There you go, much better. Okay, there you go. So on we go. Out back from where we came, and yeah, I'm just gonna cut this out. Okay, there we go. And so yeah, we're going up back here now. And I don't remember, did I finish the thought there with the Reinforced Boomerang? I guess it doesn't really matter, I know I talked about it before, but yeah, we found that iron nail from the 3... Okay, well, first of all, yeah, this is the chest room, or the treasure... the treasure map room. Ooh, nice. From that fight, at least we leveled up, even though it interrupted me. So Jessica now gets a bunch of health, mana, and 5 wisdom, 5 agility, not bad. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put some into stays and some into sex appeal. There you go. And she's now staff analyst, and whenever she wears a staff or is equipped with one, she has her mana pool increased by 20. So that's pretty nice, but I'm not gonna use that. But yeah, this path here is where we came from. That is obviously where we got the map. So now we're gonna head on down here. And yeah, you know what? This is a good point actually of having the map, because down there in the south path, there is a dead end and there is actually nothing there. And you will progress up the stairs there in the far north. And here on the west side of the room, on the left side, we will find a bunch of good chests, and you can only access those or these if you have the Thief's Key. So once again, it's very important that you bring the Thief's Key here into this dungeon. And as you can see, if you look at the map here, we only have 2 doors. What is up with this door here? What appears to be a door is actually just a painting on the wall. Very peculiar, most odd even. But yeah, there are traps in this dungeon, and they kind of foreshadow things here with that door there, or the fake door. Later on, there is a trap set with a fake door, and there is a pit-like setup behind the door. And so if you go up and press on that, fake door on the wall, it will just push you back into the hole and you will fall back and land on the floor below. Yeah, that's really annoying, because you will have to redo an entire floor. So, yeah, you'll see what I mean in a bit. Oh yeah, and I guess I'd never mentioned the goodie bags here, but the goodie bags that we're taking out, they drop plenty of gold, so this is actually a really nice dungeon to grind in if you need more money. The goodie bag doesn't only give you lots of gold on kill, but they also have a chance of dropping the prayer ring, which it just so happens to be that you need a prayer ring and mix it into, or well, if you find a prayer ring, you can use it with a seed of strength in the alchemy pot, and you can craft a strength ring, which a strength ring with a titan belt becomes a mighty armlet. So yeah, we're actually gonna need to make 2 additional strength rings with, or by combining seeds of strength with prayer rings in the alchemy pot, because yeah, that's the only way of getting strength rings actually. You can't ever buy them. You'll get like 2 of them through the game, but other than that, they are very rare. You can grind them from certain enemies, but yeah, the drop chances are incredibly low, so yeah, I'm gonna have to craft them. So, either way, here now we go. Another magic seed for Yanks, and he keeps rolling 4. Dude, that is awesome. He's doing so well with the magic seeds. If only Jessica could do the same with the strength seeds, She keeps rolling 1s instead of 2s. Yeah, I'm just blaring at her at this moment. Just, yeah, very upset with her. With my girl. My girl. And, let's see. In here we have a kitty shield. I actually have a funny story with this, or funny, but I have a story with this chest here. When I played this game, well, my first time, on my very first playthrough, I never had the Thief's Key when I came up to this point in the game. And so I thought, coming in here into the Swordsman's labyrinth, and I saw these chests here, I thought, why can't I open them? There has to be something really cool inside of here. And so later on, when you get the magic key, I believe it must have been, I came back here thinking that there would have to be some crazy cool loot in here. Actually, I might even have had the ultimate key when I came back here. I came back to this room and I found the kitty shield, and I was very disappointed. I thought it was like a super secret item that the game developers had hidden for like the late game for people who remembered about it to come back here would get a really cool item. But no, yeah, it's just a kitty shield, which is better for Jessica at this moment. But yeah, I just distinctly remember that memory there. Yeah, I was so excited coming back here. Way later on in the game, I had I believe it was the ultimate key, and yeah, I just got the kitty shield, and it was a big disappointment. So yeah, now we're gonna head on up north, and you can see that there is another fake door up there. Yeah, you should have been able to see that on the map, and indeed, this series that I was talking about, there is the falling pit there. You don't want to fall down that. You would end up down in the room where we found the dungeon map. So yeah, very annoying to fall down there. Although, of course, if you did miss the dungeon map, like let's say you're playing this game for your first time and you fall down there, well then that ain't so bad. So it's like a trap that still at least gives you the map, I guess. And ouch, these guys really hurt, I gotta say. They deal a lot of damage. And yeah, I'm gonna need to heal up after this fight. And you know what, Yanks is actually going really low on mana. Really low. I might actually need to use a magic water on him. Because yeah, I don't want to fight inside of this dungeon without the thin air ability. It's so nice. So yeah, if I have to use a magic water, well, so be it. And also, like, don't walk up towards the hole. I'm pretty sure you'll fall. But yeah, if you go up and press X on this door, you'll just get, yeah, pushed back down there. So don't do that. Instead, just move on up here through the north door in the room, and that's how you progress. Yeah, I see, fairly linear map. Or dungeon. I believe in the last episode I told you how when I was in my teenage years I really struggled with this dungeon, and you know, now that I'm older I can't see how I struggled in here. Alright, there we go. Beat the caped fighters or phantom dancers, whatever they are called. And yeah, now here, as you can see once again, that path up there is just a fake door, so we're just not even gonna bother walk up there. There are no items on this path anyway, so yeah. Just steer clear of that one, and this is the most silly puzzle ever. Like, they could have made, well, they could have removed this indentation in the floor, and they could have made the statue thicker, because this is kind of silly. Because, like, even if you had the map, you can clearly see that there is a path behind him. Like, seriously, I would have even gone so far as to remove this path behind the statue there. Like, still, you know, this puzzle is almost just silly. Right? Like, it would have been nice if you had some mystique here in the, well, renowned Swordsman's labyrinth. And there we go, Jagus punched him in the face. Very nice. Oh my god, dude. You get so much experience down here, it is actually crazy. I love this dungeon. Lots of gold, lots of experience. All of the good stuff. And yeah, I'm burning through my medicinal herbs here, but yeah, I mean, I'm burning through my mana very rapidly down here, so I'm very happy we have the herbs. Really happy. Although I guess I technically wouldn't have needed them, because yeah, as you can see, or could see, the hero is pretty much full of mana, so it's just, yeah, angular healing. For the fourth and final floor here, we're just gonna go on down here in this spiral, because there's a mini medal down here. Okay. The mummies have been defeated, and you know what, let's start burning some of the hero's mana here, yeah. Instead of using herbs, our valuable herbs. And down the cinnamon snake. Down the cinnamon bun. Yeah, there you go. We go. Yeah, it kind of looks like one here on the map. Kind of. Yeah, very edgy cinnamon bun. Dude, it's so hard to come up with proper commentary when you're not a native English speaker. I am really struggling with like forming sentences, but I'm doing my best. Yeah, just this silly European guy here trying his best with English. I'd still say I'm fairly good at it. Like, if I may toot my own horn, like, I'm fairly good at writing in English anyways, but when it comes to speaking, you know, I don't do it on an everyday basis, so yeah, you just trip over your words, or I do, I mean. See, there I go again. Okay, well, we gotta head on up here now. And I did notice just now that the Kenai boxes there, they give a fantastic amount of gold whenever you defeat them, so that's nice. And yeah, I wonder, what do I do here? Yeah, see, it's almost a little bit patronizing in this game with some of the puzzles. Like, they could have made it harder, like, seriously. I mean, it's nice when it's breezy and all, but there is breezy, and then there is, well, almost, this is almost well, brinking on being brain dead. Like, anyone can figure this out. Like, seriously, do we need to have the indentations, and do they need to be so steep? And like, yeah, I don't know. You know what? Why am I even complaining? I love this game. Stop complaining, boy. Boy. Just have fun with the game and stop being so annoying to listen to. And yeah, down there in the middle we have the boss room, so we're pretty much done here. And there's gonna be one final puzzle room, but yeah, it's gonna be really easy. But harder than the rest at the very least. But yeah, hopefully we can get another nail here, and another iron nail, I should say. Because remember, each iron nail you get, you can use with a regular boomerang and craft a reinforced boomerang, which you can then sell for 840 gold, I want to say. And a regular boomerang only costs you 420 gold down at the Fairbury weapon shop. So yeah, you can make a lot of gold by finding iron nails and just making them into reinforced boomerangs. And besides, once we get to the Dodgy Dave trading quest, you will get 1200 gold in there for your first reinforced boomerang, which is really nice. And yeah, we're also gonna need it, you know, to progress with his quest there. Yeah, the Dodgy Day quest. I think I've discussed this, but the first item we gotta head in there with to him in Pickham is the special medicine, which we already have one of. And yeah, once we get our alchemy pot back, I'm gonna need to make a reinforced boomerang and trade that into him second. And there we go, we got to showcase their suicide attack. But yeah, once we have traded in the special medicine and the reinforced boomerang, well, then it's not gonna be a while until we can trade in more items at this place, because yeah, we need to advance the plot at that point. But yeah, I'll show you how to do the whole entire sequence. And there we go. The spirits have been defeated. They sure dealt some damage there. Hello? Never mind. They really didn't. Yeah. I just talked over everything, so I honestly didn't pay too much attention to what was going on. I just saw that they exploded on me. And yeah, so this puzzle is slightly trickier than the others, but even so, I mean, I figured it out as a teenager, so really, it's not that bad. Look to the sky above to see the path. Okay. So, you look up in the roof, and yeah, there's a open hole there. So, all you really gotta do is just align the... ouch! is you just gotta align the statues with where the hole in the wall, or where the hole in the ceiling is. There you go. Jesus, man. So yeah, just a little bit further up. There you go. And now this time we push this statue. And as you saw, these guys, where they point their swords, like at the intersection of where they're pointing is where the pad will push you up. So that's how you're supposed to do this. So yeah, now we go up through the hole. And if I wanted to make this really interesting, I would go up and face the boss without healing up my mana. And maybe that is what I should do. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna be ballsy. I'm not gonna go ahead and heal up my mana here. I'm actually gonna do this. Heal up Jessica with my prayer. Or with my prayer pot, with my magic water. And then we're gonna have to use our other magic water. And I'm gonna use it on Angelo, because I need him to be topped off. So, you know, that could be a fun challenge for this playthrough. Like, before many bosses of the game, you have... well, here, let me save. Let me make a save state. And if you go up here and talk to this statue, welcome Seeker to the Venus... well, or welcome Seeker of the Venus tier. Now begin your final trial. And yeah, you get fully healed, both mana and HP, and that makes things a lot more easier. So I'm gonna load our state here, and I think that whenever there is an option to heal before a boss, I'm not gonna take that option, just to make things more interesting. And yeah, instead we're gonna use our trusty herbs here. And I think we should still be fine. Hopefully I don't wipe here. If I do, well, then I'm just gonna have to cut back. Honestly, if I do wipe, it's not so bad, because then I would have to walk through the entire dungeon again, and I would get a lot of more experience and gold. So you know what, I actually don't entirely mind wiping, to be quite honest. Let's see here. We're gonna give 2 strong medicines to Jessica. It's a shame I only have 2, but they're gonna be helpful here for healing. And she also had the Amor Seco Essence, which is also gonna be very helpful. And we have enough medicinal herbs here. Let's also do this. Oh, I thought this would cure the sleep type too. No, they don't. Okay, that's a shame. I'm actually a little bit scared here now. This boss likes to put you to sleep, and normally if you level up the hero's courage tree, he gets the tingle spell at 12 points, I think, which cures the sleep spell. But now I don't have enough points into my courage tree, so I don't have the spell. So only Angelo will be able to wake people who are asleep up. So that's a little bit scary here. And this is nice. Oh, ho ho ho. Maybe we can get another iron nail here. And even if they don't give me one, we'll get a lot of money. Money. And we're already up to half an hour approximately. I almost said appropriately. But like, what the heck, man? What the heck? Oh. Yeah, I sound like an imbecile. Imbecile? However you pronounce that. I know what it means, I just don't know how to pronounce it. And, you know what, here. Let's just heal on up once more. One more gain. As Free One Up would say. Or would have said. He's no longer active on YouTube. But, yeah. No matter. Let's just open the chest. And I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here. Oh, that hits the spot. And here we have the trap box. No doubt the hardest boss we have faced till now. This guy can use the confusion spell on you. He can put your entire party to sleep, and he can hit you for about 80 to 100 damage. So he is quite dangerous. Yeah, we don't want to sleep on this guy. So it is highly recommended that you come in here at least well, 2 should have the mid spell. The mid heal spell is what I'm trying to say. Even if you don't have Tingle, you should at least have... Oh, there it is. You should at least have mid heal. And I forget which level he gets it at. Was it at... Well, in between 16 to level 18 is where he gets it. So, yeah, it's very important that you do. And in this fight, it is dangerous to psych up. If he puts you to sleep or confuses you, well, you know, you will just lose all your tension, so... But even so, I'm gonna be ballsy and I'm gonna do it. And since Yangus is, well, out of mana, to be quite frank, we're gonna go ahead and equip the Iron Axe and use the Helm Splitter. Then Jessica. Yeah, see, here's the thing. If you have leveled up Jessica to level 19 at this point, she will have a really nice spell called the Oomph, which will double your strength for a couple of turns forward, which would have been nice to have, but, you know, once again, since I'm making a YouTube Let's Play, I'm very under-leveled since I don't sit around and grind. So yeah, this is gonna be tougher than it normally is for me. And yeah, you definitely want to use the Kebab spell on this fight, there's no question about it. You need to stack defense, and it should be at max at all times. There's no reason not to. And I would also suggest you use the Accelerator spell. You want all your teammates to be able to strike before the boss, because like if he hits you and he crits you and you're at low health, then you want your healers to be able to heal that person up to full before the boss has a chance to strike again, if that makes sense. So yeah, there you go. And yeah, I'm just gonna strike with the hero, use Hand Splitter, and I'm gonna use another Accelerator, and we're gonna use another Kabuff. And with all these Accelerators stacked now, we should be good to go here. At least that is what I hope. And yeah, we're dealing some good damage here. And yeah, I honestly forgot I was stacking tension on the hero. Wow, that is embarrassing. Yes, I just ended up dispensing it there. Okay, you know what? Psych up, Splitter, and now Jessica. Yeah, Jessica, you know what? Here. Jessica is gonna stack tension, and Tude is gonna help out healing here. So heal Jessica up, or actually do this. Use a regular herb instead. on Jessica. Yangus, you use that, and then Psych up. And of course we're gonna keep on kabuffing. And once she's at 50, I'm gonna unleash. Hopefully we can score some Helm Splitters here on the boss and lower his defense. He is about at 1300 health, I wanna say, so he's quite durable. So this is gonna be a tough fight. And please don't... Damn it, yeah, see, I lost my tension there now. That is annoying. Okay, well. Medicinal herb on yourself, Helm Splitter, and use Tingle. And see, now it would have been nice if Tur could use Tingle, so Angelo could keep stacking Kabuff, but yeah, I can't. And I'm a little bit perhaps too conservative here. Maybe I should be a little bit more on the offense. I think I should be, otherwise this is gonna be a very long fight, actually. But yeah, there you go, woke her up. And wow. Dude, this is most... Oh, this is most unusual. Typically he hits you, like, very hard, but this fight, all he's doing is using the sleep spell, or the snooze spell, and the fuddle spell, which, yeah, I mean, in a way it's nice, because he's not dealing damage, allowing me to use Kabuff a bunch. But, yeah, at the same time I want him to show off his might here. If Jessica gets put to sleep again, I'm just gonna stop using tension or psych up on her. Because, yeah, she could have done a lot of damage if I had just used the Twin Dragon Lash by now. Oh my god. Ouch. That's smart. Yeah, here's what we're gonna do now then. Well, actually, we don't need to do that. Just use the Medicinal Herb on her. Psych up. And then we're also gonna use a mid-heal on her. I was gonna unequip the axe in order to increase Yangis's agility, but then I remembered that that won't be necessary because we have 2 stacks of Accelerator. And oh wow, the mid-heal healed a lot more than I thought it would. Oh, okay, thank you. So let's just keep on using the Helm Splitter, one more Psych up, and let's use Kabuff. And after she has struck here with Twin Dragon Lash, we're gonna need to use the Accelerator spell some more again, because it's about to run out. I can only imagine. And by the way, if you have stacked up like 20 or 50 tension and then you use a Kabuff or Accelerator buff spell, then you will... Ooh, then you will buff a lot more than you normally would, if that makes sense. So like, yeah, like if you tension up on a turn or two and then use the Kabuff, well, then it's gonna be completely stacked essentially at once. But of course, well, I was gonna say that's gonna take the same amount of turns, but maybe that is the smarter way to do it, because you would spend a lot less mana if you Psych up and then Kabuff. Of course, and again, if you Kabuff one turn... Oh, wait, hold on. If you Kabuff one turn with Angelo, and, then on the second and on the third, yeah, sure, you're gonna burn 12 mana, but at the same time, you're gonna get incremental boosts of defense, so you take gradually less damage. If you use the Psych up way, yeah, sure, you won't spend as much mana, but you're gonna be more vulnerable along the way. Yeah. Either way, I think I got that right. Now, let's show off the Twin Dragon Lash in full form. This is gonna hoit. That's all I'm gonna say on this one. And one more Kabuff, I think. Ooh, that's some massive damage, but the boss is still standing. Yeah, I had some more coffee there. And yeah, I'm starting to think he's immune to the Helm Splitter move. Yeah, I think it's a safe bet to say that. And yeah, he's using a lot of spells here. Typically he attacks more physically. Well, I'm not complaining. It is helping me out, I gotta admit. And oh, right. Use Accelerator, you dingus. Yeah, we don't want to lose all our buffs here. And you know what? I think we have enough Kabuff. Let's just use Angelo to go on the offense here. Yeah, have I even hit a single sap on him? I don't think I have. But sure enough, like, if we had the Steel Broadsword on the hero now, like, and he could use the Flame Slash or just hitting with the sword, that sure would have been nice at this point. It sure would have been. But we're pretty much done here now, I think. Let's just use Angelo to heal up Yangus. And he should fall any second now. He really should. But yeah, look how much damage Jessica is dealing. Like, yeah, this is why it's nice to level up whips on her. Because if you level her up with staves, there is just no way she can deal this kind of damage in here at this point. Just no freaking way. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use cut off again. Nice. Just to keep it refreshed and to keep on bolstering our defense. I think that Desperate Blows actually just penetrate all the defense that the Kabuff gives, but it does help out if it doesn't crit. I might be wrong on that, though. It might actually help against the Desperate hits too, but yeah. Oh my god, 1020 experience. Holy cow, dude. Oh my goodness, Yangus. He's just popping off here. He's completely popping off. Yeah, more fisticuffs. I live for it. Well, I live for it. And there we go. The Venus tier has been acquired.
So this is it, eh? The Venus tier. You beauty. You know, Gov, last time I tried to get this stone, I'd done it for Red. Now we're just rivals, I guess. But I actually used to have a bit of a thing for Red. Back in them days, she wasn't a scary old bird like she is now. And I was well green. So, I thought I'd get her the Venus tier to impress her like. But I ended up doing myself an injury, and I had to leave it. Never thought I'd end up getting it like this, though. I wonder how it would have all turned out if I had got it back then, eh? Anyway, just me old wounds. Would you mind keeping this to yourself, Gov? Ain't the kind of thing you want going around.
Alright, Yangus, just for you. I'm so kind. Well, let's just use the evac spell, and yeah, oh geez, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you need to have at least 2 mana in order to be able to evac out of here. That would have been painful to walk out. Yeah, I sure as shit would have cut that crap out. I sure as shit would have cut that turd off. There, that's a nice way of phrasing it. And you know what, I'm actually gonna walk back, because, yeah, I need more gold and experience, so we're just gonna walk down to Reds. And besides, we're doing really well on time here. So yeah, we're gonna walk back to Reds, get some extra gold and experience, because, yeah, we're gonna need it up ahead for all of the crafting and all of that. So yeah, let's not be lazy here. And let's see, show no mercy. And so yeah, now what we gotta do next is we gotta head on back to Red, and after we have talked to her, then it's time to go back to Brains in Pickham. Remember, when we were there before, he was not home, so now when we come back from the Swordsman's labyrinth and after we have visited Red, he should be back home. So yeah, once you have done that, it is then time to progress the plot again. And yeah, we're also gonna be doing some alchemy recipes, but yeah, I'll say that for the beginning of the next, or yeah, for the beginning of the next episode, just so that it's all condensed at the start. And yeah, then we're gonna, well, you'll see. There's a lot of exciting stuff up ahead here now, but yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just, yeah, let's just be patient, Nick. Let's just be patient. I have a tendency of really, well, getting ahead of myself. Get way too excited, and you know what? Maybe I should just cut out the walk here. Yeah, I'll just cut it back to Reds, or whenever I'm at Reds 10, and yeah, I'll show off if there are any level ups. So yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so 2 level ups to 19, 13 health, 4 MP, 3 strength, and all of that good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start pumping some into courage here, yeah. I want him to learn the Tingle spell, and now he too knows the Zoom spell, which is nice. I believe he gets that at 8 points, but yeah, now we have one. And a free scale shield there, not bad, not bad. But yeah, we're pretty much back to Red here now, so in we go. And yeah, the rest of this episode now is just gonna be some cutscenes from here, and then we're gonna head on to Brains, and we're gonna end it off there. And you know what? Let's have a chat with our party here. It's going to hurt handing over something as beautiful as the Venus tear, but who can put a price on the life of the princess? Let's just make the trade and get it over with. Yeah, seriously. Right then, at last we can get rid of the Venus tear and get the horse princess back. This is just my kind of game. The rest of you watch and learn. See if an old pro does business. Heck yeah. Do you really think a shrewd outlaw like Red will go through with the exchange and hand on over the princess and the wagon for that duel? Just hope she keeps her end of the bargain. She could steal the Venus tear from us and refuse to give up the princess as well. Red ain't that kind of girl. My girl? If she says she'll do something, she'll do it. Alright. Or she'll do it alright. I'll testify to that. Jäger's testimony, and which court of law does that stand up in? Well, Jessica, you don't need to be a dick about it. But I agree with her, but yeah, you could have phrased that differently. You what? You got it. I don't believe it. So it's the real deal then, that Venus tear? Crikey. I was sure you lot was gonna give up and do a runner. There's more to you than I thought. Well, there you go. So let's have a chat with her.
There, I got it. The Venus tear.
Now that is quality. Oh yes, this is the real deal.
Now, hand over the horse and cart like you promised.
I never promised that. I said I'd think about it when you bought me the goods. And I've thought about it now, and I'm still not giving it back. You can keep the stone.
Oi, that ain't what you promised. That's a pretty low trick, Red. I'm surprised at ya.
Promises? You want to talk about promises? If I remember rightly, you promised me ages ago you'd bring me that stone.
What? That was years ago. You can't dredge up the past like that.
Well, you're in no position to argue. I ain't saying it again. The horse stays with me.
Yeah, right. I was out of line before, breaking me promise to you and all. I ain't surprised your act off with me. But this ain't just about me now. I can't leave without the horse. It's for the guff. Look, do what you want with me. But I'm begging you. Give the horse back.
Hey? Oh. All right. Behave, would ya? Stop grovelling about on the floor. Be a man.
Well?
I thought I'd have a bit of fun with you, but you've lost it. Have the horse. Do what you want with it.
Genghis just cranks on the waterworks and she just... Yeah, she bends. That's funny.
But I'll be keeping that Venus tear. That's what we agreed, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks, Red, and sorry about everything.
Oh, for crying out loud. Pull yourself together. We're done here, right? So go on then. Hop it.
I do love Red's voice actress, by the way. Yeah, I think it really fits the character there. This stern woman. Or well, yeah, young girl, lady, whatever. She isn't that old, she has to be like 18, 20. Which is kind of silly, like, how are you such a successful thief at such a young age?
Before you got here. Looks like she knew you'd come out with the goods. She must rate you.
Then again, maybe she ain't in her young 20s, because remember, I think Yankees is in his young 30s, or older 20s, late 20s, and from what I gather, they are about the same age, so yeah, she might be older than she looks.
Dear, what a terrible ordeal you must have been through. I'm so sorry. I won't leave you alone again. I'll never go to the pub like that again. I promise.
God, blimey!
I'll never go to the pub again. And yeah, this is just, yeah, he's very surprised at that. He can't believe what he's hearing.
We're ready to leave whenever you are. What's our next destination?
How about trying brains again? Maybe the old geezer will be around to give us some intelligence this time. Let's head back to Pickham. We've got to find out where Dollmaker's is. Otherwise we'll just be wandering around like headless chickens.
It will be no hardship to me if I never ever set foot in Pickham again. But I suppose we have no choice.
Alright then, well, we have back our alchemy pot. And yeah, we have a lot of recipes that we wanna make here now. We're gonna make a snakeskin whip, we're gonna make all those shields, all those helmets, and let's see, we're also gonna make a reinforced boomerang now that we found an additional iron nail here. So yeah, there's a lot of shit to do, but I'm not gonna make all of that until the beginning of the next episode, as I said before. And yeah, that's about it. That's how I'm gonna handle this. And I think I'll just walk back to pick him here now too. I could zoom on over there, but like I'm under-leveled, severely under-leveled. You should be at least like 1 or 2 levels higher than I am by now, but yeah. So I'm gonna need to do some walking here and stop zooming around, because yeah, I don't want to be, well, under-leveled wherever I go. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm just gonna head on back up there to the northeast to pick him, and I'll cut back. Once we're there, we're gonna talk to Brains, and then we'll end the episode once we know where to go in the next episode, and then we'll do some crafting at that point. So yeah, that sounds good to me. So yeah, now that we have a plan, it's time to do some cutting here. So on my way back to pick him, Angelo's level increased to 18, which is very nice. 6 plus wisdom, not bad, and he learns swoosh. Yeah, that's basically a better version of the whoosh spell, you know, go figure, right? And I'm kind of contemplating, like, if you go up to 7 points with no charisma, he will get the fuddle spell, and I kind of want to go ahead and grab that, but at the same time, I'm probably never going to use it. I'm typically fine just with the dazzle spell from the stave tree, but we might get it later. But yeah, no, there we go. Now he's finally got plus 10 attack with sword, so yeah, that's a nice boon there for him. And he can now also use the fizzle spell thanks to the staff tree, so that's very nice. But yeah, I'll see you once we're back at Pickham. Or, well, by the way, the fizzle spell basically silences a group of enemies, so there you go. Okay, so we're back in Pickham now. And yeah, I'm just gonna head on straight back to Brains, and if you remember correctly, he is down here on this path. And yeah, up the stairs all the way down this alley. And yeah, once we begin the next episode, I will have rested up at the inn, just so you know. I'm just gonna cut that crap out because, yeah, it's not particularly interesting. So yeah, we're just gonna progress the plot a little bit more here, and then we're gonna shut off the episode. Brains is back in town now. I was just about to ask him if he knew anything about this man I'm after who owes the boss money. Huh. When he told me something else, he said something funny is going on back in Baccarat. That's where I come from. I can't decide whether I should go back or finish the job I was sent to do. I hate decisions. Huh, so he's all the way from Baccarat, eh? That's in a land very far away, on the western continent, actually. There was a geezer who used to live here by the name of Yangus. He was a right monkey. Used to try and make out he was cleverer than what he was by using long words, huh? But he was always getting him wrong, much like me then. He'd say stuff like spiffig instead of specific, and gratitude instead of gratitude. Yeah, we have heard him make, well, yeah, mistakes like that. 2. Made him sound like a prize ignoramus. I wonder what he would be up to these days. Would be a shame if he was lying face down in some ditch. Oh my god, it would be a shame if he was lying face down in some ditch somewhere. Okay, you know what? Here, let's do this. Put Yangus out in front. Yangus, when did you get back? You're looking good as ever, eh? I was dead worried when I didn't hear nothing from you after you left town, but now you're back. Haha. And you're alright and everything. So yeah, that's a good example on different pieces of dialogue that you can get when you're wandering around. And you can do that surprisingly many times, or you can do that a surprising amount of times through the game here. Like, yeah, whenever you talk to people, like, yeah, it's really amusing anyways. But yeah, I probably won't be showing off too many of those because, yeah, it's gonna use up a lot of my brain power if I had to always think about stuff like that. So I'm just gonna chill as we play here. And here we go. Here we have brains.
Hello, Brains. Long time no see. Back at last, eh?
Well, well, look who it is. You came when I was out, did you, Yangas? I'm sorry I wasn't here. But you're back again. So, if I'm not mistaken, you must be in need of some information. Am I right?
Always on the ball, eh, Brains? We're looking for this bloke who looks like a clown. Goes by the name of Dolmagus. He's a slippery customer. Keeps getting away from us. Have you heard anything?
Yes, I've heard about him. The criminal responsible for murdering the abbot of Maella Abbey, no less. My sources report seeing him walking over the surface of the sea toward the western continent.
The Western Continent? That's a bit hazy, isn't it? Can't you be more specific?
Sorry, that's all I know. I wish I could tell you more.
Well, if you don't know nothing more, Brains, there ain't nothing more to know. We'll have to go to the Western Continent ourselves.
A fine idea. But aren't you forgetting something? How do you intend to cross the sea?
Eh?
Monster attacks at sea have been significantly worse recently. All crossings from here and from the northern continent have been cancelled. You could go if you had your own ship, but unless I'm misinformed, you don't. I'd say that will pose quite a problem.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
No, I can see that. Well, perhaps I can help you out there with a little snippet of information I heard. Follow the cliffs along the coast to the west from Port Prospect, and you will come to a wide open wasteland. According to what I hear, there's an old abandoned ship there. I don't know why a ship should be in a place devoid of water, but anyway, people say it's a magic ship. If you could get it up and running again, you'd be able to sail anywhere you wanted. You might want to try the path to the west of Port Prospect. It was blocked by a rock slide, but I hear that's been cleared up now.
So indeed, I believe I told you guys about that place before, you know, when we were at Port Prospect and we walked up north from there, or yeah, something like that, and there was a big boulder that had raced down from the mountains, and I told you that we would be coming back here later, and that time is now actually. So, yeah, that's where we're going next. However, before we do so, and before we end off this episode, we're gonna go ahead and visit the weapon shop over here. As you might recall, I did talk, well, I think it was in the last episode, I was talking about this hunter's bow here, which, if you go ahead and buy this now, then once we get to the next dungeon of the game, you can mix the hunter's bow with a garter, and that should net us the hero's bow, which then in turn will sell for like 4,000 or 5,000 gold. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy this and put it in the bag for now. And yeah, I wouldn't bother buying a steel broadsword. We're actually gonna get one for free up ahead, so yeah. So yeah, with that, it is now time to end the episode, and I wonder, is everything... Yeah, you know what, I can do this off screen. I think that by the time we start up the next episode, I'll be over in Port Prospect, and actually, you know what, why the heck won't I just go there now? Yeah, we're going to Port Prospect, and we're gonna do the alchemy recipes there too when we begin the next episode, and then we're gonna continue on our journey out of the, well, out here, you know, up there to the northwest, you see there, that's where the rubble was blocking off before. I just pointed on the map, that little closed off path there. That's where there was a big boulder, and now that is cleared up, we can walk on up to the west there, and up there just so happens to be Castle Pt.13 too, which you'll see in the next episode. So yeah, I'll go on in here in Port Prospect, I'm gonna rest up, save my game, and then we're gonna make some alchemy recipes before heading out towards the Pt.13 region actually. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode.